I have studied the possibilities of an artificial consciousness for some 25 years. Then I found proof that what I was aiming for could never be achieved. Not because of me, not for lack of computing power, but simply because it's physically impossible. So that was the end of my research and I lost interest in the subject. But these days it seems like this subject is getting more interest again. Elon Musk says he's afraid of these developments. Some Google employee believes that he has seen a sentient program. And then there is this Yuval Noah Harari from the WEF with all kind of outrageous claims. And the list goes on. So perhaps there are people interested in my results. If so, I'll make a video series about all the nitty-gritty. This video will just be a bird's eye view. So if you are interested and want to see more, support me on Patreon and let me know. Consciousness appears to be a very elusive subject, and anyone researching it is often branded a pseudoscientist or worse. But that is objectively wrong. Every scientific endeavor starts with an observation of physical reality. I observe some phenomenon. And next we focus on that phenomenon. But in doing so, we are ignoring two parts of this observation, namely, who or what does the observing, and what does it mean to observe? It should be obvious that these two questions should be included. But I think because they are difficult issues, they are simply ignored. In quantum physics, however, it looks like this is now causing problems. So how can we get a handle on this subject? First, we need to agree that consciousness exists, and that, I believe, is the easy part. Next, I postulate that there must be a process that produces consciousness, and that is our handle. A process requires three things: a substrate, something that acts on this substrate, and a recipe. In computer science, this would translate to random access memory, a central processing unit, and a program. Running the program creates the process, but the process is an abstract thing. You cannot hold it in your hands, you cannot even see it, you can only see the results. So what needs to happen for this process to become conscious, and what would it imply? This process must experience itself, so that it can say, I am aware. Therefore, it must see itself as a physical thing of some sort. One could argue that without a physical body I could still be aware of things around me, but that line of reasoning is a dead end, and for now I will just leave it there. But the process has no physical qualities, yet it needs them to become conscious. Therefore, consciousness creates a physical reality based on processes that manifest on the substrate. In other words, the physical reality that we observe is an image of processes created in our mind, a subset of which create our consciousness. Delving deeper into this will show that this subset is in fact the entirety. In other words, everything we see and experience is an image of a process that constitutes our consciousness. Looking at this from another perspective, we could say that our consciousness is closely linked to processes in our brain. How exactly, we do not know, but that doesn't matter. Our brain sits inside of a closed box, our skull, and only receives electrochemical impulses from our body. Some of these impulses are experienced as sounds, others as images, others again as smells or touches. But they are just impulses, and they create an experience in our mind, making us think that outside of our skull there is this whole world in which we also have a body and we can interact with this world. But all of this is based solely on electrochemical impulses. Our consciousness creates the images and gives them a location in space. The same process can appear as different bodies in different locations. For example, an internal skeleton could relate to a single process, but it manifests in every human and in slightly different form in other mammals. So, this does away with Darwin's theories of evolution and explains the morphogenetic fields of Rupert Sheldrake. There's no Big Bang, and there never was. The universe is unlimited but not infinite. There is a huge overlap between my work and that of Donald Hoffman, but there are also some small differences. Consciousness builds up from small, almost binary units into a huge and complex entity. We are that entity. Reality as we perceive it is an image created in our mind of processes that created our mind. We are physical reality. All we see is ourself. There's nothing outside of us. If we would be able to create an artificial consciousness, that consciousness would do the same and create its own universe, a universe that would be completely abstract to us. It would not share a single atom with our reality. That is, if its universe would even have atoms at all. We would not notice its consciousness because there's no overlap between its universe and ours. We would not be able to communicate with it. It would not exist for us.